Driving a 25-year-old convertible Porsche at full throttle on a track, a car whose most common owner uses it to go out for a stick on Sundays, isn't exactly the norm, but that's precisely what I'm bringing you today. A few months ago, I was invited to the Jarama circuit in Madrid for the presentation of EBC Brake's new range of high-performance brake pads. To test them, I installed a set on my Seat Leon FR MK2 with Golf MK5 R32 calipers, and after verifying that they braked considerably better than the tires could handle, I ran into several friends who were also there for a drive. One of them was Carlos, also known on social media as Aslang. Carlos used to drive a Peugeot 307 with which he managed to break the 2-minute mark at the Jarama circuit, which, to put it into perspective, is an incredible achievement for that car. He had recently bought this first-generation Porsche Boxster S, with which he had an even more challenging goal: to break the 1 minute 50 seconds barrier at the Jarama circuit. After several upgrades to achieve this goal, it was time to focus on the brakes, and Carlos installed the new EBC RPX brake pads to see how much time he could save off his previous lap times. Getting into a convertible on a track is something I almost never do anymore, unless I have a lot of confidence in the driver. But knowing how Carlos drives, I dare to do a few laps with him, and here they are.
Que nos va a dar una vueltecita en esto, una vueltecita por decir algo, porque va a ser vueltaza.
The bad thing is that we are not going to do a complete lap because it will be this exit from the pits and the next one will go in. Look at the fuel, I'm quite worried that the engine might stall out on me.
No, they are AR1, yes.
Esta ha sido la última mejora que le has hecho.
That's it. I had the tires the car came with from... It's true. It was very inconsistent because first it would understeer, then suddenly the back end would step out, and of course it was a Porsche, and it was a mix of tires where each one behaved differently.
They are EBC RPX brake pad.
These are the brake pads I'm testing for the first time today. And man, you can really tell the difference because the day before I was braking at around 170 meters. Today I've been testing and there were some laps where I was able to brake at around 140. So pretty good. The difference, really. Aside from that, I have the fact that they have a bit more bite. The difference is that they hold up lap after lap. The others were, I really couldn't say because the markings on the face of the pads were completely worn away, but they were probably just normal everyday pads.
and it turns.
That is also very important, as in applying trail braking. As in it's what makes it so that when it seems like it won't turn in, you're already transferring the grip to the front wheels. Let's go in now. It just cut off on me. I think the fuel pump has stopped working. There's the exit right over there. Hey, it is just perfect for the 2 laps that I had mentioned to you earlier.
Ahora, eso sí, sensaciones de esto, más siendo cabrio, de cómo vas notando el culo haciendo así.
Yes, of course, it is just a stock suspension. The suspension is still stock. So you must have noticed the car up there at Ascari that it feels a bit floaty, obviously, but hey, it handles well. With these tires, since their sidewall is quite a bit harder than the others, it's gained a lot up there. Because before, even I wouldn't dare to go full throttle there, right? I mean, after going round and round and not going full throttle. Now with these, yes. Besides, they have more grip, of course, so that helps. But the main issue was how the sidewall flexed, which didn't give me confidence. I don't know. I didn't know exactly where it was going to go.
So, did you like it?
Si lo que yo no sé, ahora vale esto, pero a mí me daría más miedo después de esto el cómo el 1.56, 1.58 lo que hicieses antes de la otra manera.
Indeed.
Tiene que dar muchísimo más miedo.
Personally, I feel the same.
Ya,
A
es
mí
que lo ves
también.
en los vídeos, pero te subes aquí y notas cómo va
Sí.
haciendo el coche.
It truly is, even if it might not look like it at first glance, a very analog car. And I honestly really appreciate that about it. I have no idea what other vehicles you might have been in earlier today, but you can clearly tell that a modern one is heavily filtered. Whereas this one here,
Sí, pero que da igual. He ido también en, por ejemplo, similar, en un Cayman S, bueno, en un par de Cayman S, también en circuito, pero es que nada que ver. Eran ya un poquito más modernos, eran creo que la siguiente 987 puede ser.
Yes, that is correct.
La siguiente generación a este, pero y vamos, suben aquí a cualquiera que no te conoce a ti y irían cagados, hostia. Yo me fío de ti.
Hey, I don't know. I think whoever knows me should be more scared.
Respeto. Sí señor, muchas gracias por la vuelta.
It is no problem at all. It is my pleasure.
Bueno, tenéis el canal de este señor abajo en la descripción. En el momento que se suba esto, ya habrá bajado del 1.50 seguro.
No, that's not right. It is going to take quite a bit of time.
Joder, sí señor.
Well, I'm glad you liked it. It's just that, I was already making the last rounds, and I thought, because of the gas, I was thinking, I'm not going to be able to take a good spin without risking what just happened to us. So I thought I might as well take the opportunity and call Chema.
O sea, que has venido con el depósito lleno y has dado 38.
Well, look. I didn't come with a full tank exactly, so I wouldn't be overweight, because I calculated what I need for the stops over the 2 hours, and I was pretty much spot on. I came in with a little over 3/4, just to, like I said, go with the minimum weight possible from start to finish. You're always 10 kilos lighter.
10 kilos menos.
Llevas ahí esta, que no sé si es por...
Yeah, oil pressure. I have to put a thicker one in because the car has an oil cooler, but even so, it still keeps running too hot. It's true, it's running a 10W50, but I'm going to switch it to 10W60. I'm going to switch it to that.
¿Y qué estás llevando aceite?
It's an X-line. I mean, what used to be extreme. It contains a lot of molybdenum. It's well regarded in reviews, and this guy, the one from La Taberna del Motor, also speaks well of it.
Sí, conozco.
Maybe I'll just use the same one, but I'll set it in the year 10W60.
Otro aceite antes y ver qué tal. Bueno, este le llevas ahora desactivado, ¿no?
No, it's not deactivated. Unfortunately, when it reaches 0, it's because it's low on pressure.
And this before entering for the first times, I already put it on because I read on the forums, on the track, when you put slicks on them, these cars have tendency to suffer from oil starvation.
Hiciste la movida del cárter para...
That was for the second track day. But even so, for the first one, I already installed this gauge to see the oil pressure, and I was surprised because even though the other tires didn't have much grip, I was still having problems with the oil pressure in the corners. Then, watching the replay, apart from having a co-driver that day, he was saying to me, no, the oil pressure goes to 0 in the corners.
Well, in any case, slowly but surely, we are starting to get used to this car, and we are.
A lo mejor no sé si venden alguna bomba que meta un poco más de caudal.
Well, in principle, that's the problem. It's that since the oil overheats, it can't build up pressure. because it's fine when it's cold. When it's cold, like when you start the car or even go for a drive, the genie lamp, the oil pressure light, has never come on, but it always happens on the track. That's why I'm constantly revving it, and so it can build enough oil pressure.
You might think I'm joking, but I'm telling you, I got way more of an adrenaline rush riding with Carlos in this car than the laps I had taken earlier in a 911 GT3 Cup. By the way, if you want to see those laps and listen to the 911's engine sound, I'll leave the video in the description. You can barely see it on screen, and having the GoPro mounted on the rear window doesn't convey the car's speed at all. Not to mention the bite of the brakes or how the chassis flexed in corners having no roof. In the GT3, you are in a bucket seat with harnesses and surrounded by a roll cage. You feel safe. In this car, you feel like praying on every fast corner. If you want to see the project's progress step by step, how Carlos has been improving it in his own garage, and whether he ultimately achieves his goal, I recommend you to follow him on his YouTube channel, where he's uploading everything, and I will link it in the description. And don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and like this video only if you enjoyed it. See you next time.